Hi, Miss Devereaux here, and um, at this point you should have watched the video on how to complete the outline successfully. I'm also just going to quickly walk you through an example. I've pulled some passages from a peer's paper, and so this is a student in years before you who did this paper and did it well, and so I just want to provide you with some examples of how to be successful. We're only going to highlight a few things here. I'm not going to go over all of this information again. So I've included her thesis statement, the theme that love isn't always easy. And when we started working on this, the student and I, the theme was just love. But love is too broad, so we had to narrow down the scope so we had one thing to focus on in this paper. So the theme, love isn't always easy, is portrayed by Stephen, I'm going to butcher this last name, Chbosky in Perks of Being a Wallflower. Now notice first and last name are capitalized. Perks of Being a Wallflower is properly capitalized and italicized. So we don't capitalize of or a unless they start the title. Okay. Through the event, for the characters and events. So here we've got a theme, and then we've got two lit elements that were used to help us understand this theme. Okay. So if we go down to the second body paragraph. So this is when you are going to start talking about the elements from your thesis statement. So element number 1, characters. Okay, so this says Stephen Chbosky uses the characters to help portray the difficulties that come with love. So we've got characters and we've got a re-mention of the theme, not stated exactly the same, but just reminding us what it is that we're going to talk about. So I know that when I am looking through this outline, I need to see an explanation of how the characters from the passage help us to understand that love is hard. Okay, so we've got evidence from the novel, and you'll notice here that she's got this all included properly because this is dialogue. So we've got the initial quotation marks, and then because we've got dialogue, it's the single, okay? And then this ends. So we know we're watching a conversation happen because of the punctuation in here. And then down here is an explanation. So I want to make sure that the first person you kiss loves you, okay? Okay. She was crying harder now, and I was too, because when I hear something like that, I just can't help it. I just want to make sure of that, okay? Okay? Okay. And she kissed me. And it was the kind of kiss I could never tell my friends about out loud. It was the kind of kiss that made me know that if I was never so happy, or that I was never so happy in my whole life. Okay, so right now this is just a conversation between two people. And now she's going to explain to us how this passage uses characters to help us understand that love is difficult. So, Stephen Chbosky uses Sam and Charlie to show that love isn't always easy. In this situation, he shows that Sam cares for Charlie a lot, but this situation really messes with Charlie. He knows that he can't be with her, but he also knows that she loves him. Love can be hard because there are different types of love. All right, so now we're going back to our theme and how these characters are showing us this theme. Sam loves Charlie in a friendly type of way, while Charlie loves Sam in a romantic type of way. Okay? So there perfectly she explains that love can be hard because there are different types of love, as shown up here. And we see it because we learn that Sam loves Charlie in a friendly type of way, and then that Charlie loves Sam in a romantic way. So this is a quick explanation that helps us to understand how this passage uses characters to show us that love is hard. And she nailed it on the head. All right? So that is what a really successful explanation does. Sometimes at the beginning of your explanation, you need to give a little bit of summary or background, which is done here. Okay? But then we've got to go on and you have got to explain how you see that this passage connects back to your theme. Okay, because in your head it all makes sense, but remember, I'm not in your head. And I am really good at making mental leaps and making my own connections, but I'm not grading for you on what I think. I have to grade you for what you tell me in your paper. So that means that you have to be able to explain to me how you connect this passage to using characters that shows us that love is hard. Okay, so all of the thoughts that are in your head on how this connects need to come out in your explanation. Okay, if you have too much, I'll tell you have too much. Generally, that's not the problem. A lot of times, it's easy to just say, well, this connects, and move on. But you've got to be able to justify yourself, because if you can't, then I don't know for sure if you understand how it connects. And that's what's important here. So make sure you're explaining how you see these passages connect. And notice in here, this student did not write, I think, I believe, here's how this passage connects. You don't need to use phrases like that. You just need to go on to explain yourself. In her final essay that she submitted, you'll see here that we go right from the passage into the explanation with no need for here's a summary, or here's what I think, or here's why I think that. Okay, so you want these to just flow from one to the next. If you need some help, let me know. Oh, one last thing, your wrap-up sentence, okay? So a lot of times when kids do this wrap-up sentence, they say, and these examples show how events in the story help us to understand. Okay, that's not what you want to do. So the characters regularly show the struggles of love through their lack of affection toward one another, which can make their relationship stressful. So she has summarized her next set of evidence is another relationship where there's a fight. Okay, so she has summarized the struggles. The characters have struggles, which both pieces of evidence point to, and then she explains how those struggles have shown us that love can be difficult. Okay, so you want to make sure that your wrap-up isn't just based on the events I presented above. Just go on and say it. Just like in here, this is her next explanation, and then there's her wrap-up. And there's no need for those cue words or next I'll tell you about. Leave all of that kind of writing out. Good luck.